And that means that we're starting our meeting. And today is Wednesday, November 3rd, and it's approximately 6:03. This is the Historic Preservation Commission meeting. And if we are calling to order, and if I can have a roll call, please, Darby.
When I call your name, please state here or present for the record. Bruce Trimber.
Present.
Elaine Gallagher-Adams. Jesse Solomon.
Here.
Mary Vox Bell. Carrie Schmelter.
Here.
Josh Simpson. Michael Avecchio. Thank you.
That means we do have a quorum. Just wanted to state that. Notice regarding adjournment. The Historic Preservation Commission will not hear new items after 9:30 unless authorized by majority vote of the commission members present. Items which not have been heard before 9:30 may be continued to the next regular meeting or special meeting date as determined by the commission members. Notice regarding public comments. Every member of the public who is recognized to speak shall address the chairman, and in speaking avoid disrespect to commission staff and other members of the meeting. State your name and address when speaking for the record. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. Looking for a motion for the adoption of the agenda as written.
I motion we adopt the agenda.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Adoption of agenda. Adoption of minutes from October 6th. We have a copy of that and hope you reviewed that. If we could get a motion for the adoption of the minutes.
I'd like to make a motion for the adoption of the October 6th meeting minutes.
Good, looking for a second.
Second.
Any discussions? All in favor, I'm not going to adopt them because I wasn't here, so adoption of minutes, does that make a problem? This doesn't make a problem.
There's only
does it?
2 people that were,
I
Right.
was not last time.
yeah, I think Mike was there and I was there.
So I guess,
So that does pose a problem, so we'll just have to hold off on that since there's not a majority to vote on it.
so should we just put this off for our next December meeting then? Is that what we need to do, or how do we do that?
Yes, but just to finish the motion, can I have you all take your vote so that I've got it in the record as to who attempted to vote tonight, so that when it
We're
goes
there.
forward next time, we've had a closed motion here at once.
Aye.
Okay, and you two are not here. Perfect. Thank you.
So, right. So that makes sense. Are we clear on that, Darby?
Yes, I've got it.
Okay. Public comments for items not on the agenda. Let's see, do we have any public? We have 2 publics out here, but it looks like it's your item, and you're a public too, so, yeah. No comments, and do we have any old business?
Not.
So now we're into the new business, and we have Katie, who will be doing the presentation.
There.
And thank you, Katie.
Mr. Chairman, tonight before us we have a request for a certificate of appropriateness to allow the addition of 800 square feet to an existing 2-story structure of approximately 3,135 square feet and a carriage house of approximately 1,334 square feet. Located at 38 Lawrence Street in the Old Town Bluffton Historic District. It is zoned neighborhood general HD. This is the parcel here on the location map. You can see Lawrence here running across the screen with Calhoun to your right. It is a T-shaped parcel that you cannot see much of this from Lawrence Street, but that is where it gains access. So that is the front of the lot there. And there is the cove that runs through the back portion, or the, it's actually the left portion of the lot, because the front is Lawrence Street. However, the way the structure is facing, it kind of addresses the cove, which makes sense for this lot. You can see here, it is in that neighborhood general HD zoning district, and surrounded on all sides that are accessible really by the same. You've got the Green Street Ghost Road to the end here, and that would be neighborhood center that you're seeing to the south. These are the existing conditions of the structure. So this is the little carriage house that is being proposed, or not, I'm sorry, it exists. It's being proposed to be changed from a shop workshop area to the master bedroom. So you'll see that on the floor plans when they come through. So the first elevation you're seeing is standing kind of in front of the house looking towards it. So you'd be standing here in this bush when you took that first picture. The second picture is from what is towards the cove. This is the side of the structure that faces away from the cove. Nope, I'm sorry. This faces towards the house. So the house is directly behind this. And then this is standing on the existing patio. You can see, I think, probably part of a hot tub covering here that faces towards the side there. So there is an existing shower and pad under this fencing area. And you can see the roof line has a small bump out in it here. This is the corner between the outside porch and the house. So you can see there's the tree that is noted on your site plan. And this is standing closer to the house looking towards the that outdoor shower area there.
That tree, you're not going to disturb that tree? You're not messing around with foundation?
The tree will be removed.
Okay.
So this is the front corner of the house, and you're seeing, this is the corner that you're seeing that's so close to the existing carriage house. So on our plan here, you can see this is the carriage house we had pictures of. The red stripes are the addition, and then this is the existing primary structure. So that shower is located in the red stripes here at the back of the lot, and the porch that you see on the primary structure is also in that red area. So really the only new footprint that you're going to be gathering is the small amount here tying the two structures together. It'll be a small hyphen there. So this is the cove here with that OCRM 100-foot setback all the way back here with the 60% reduction. So only 40% of the lot is within the OCRM. It falls here at this line. This is the first floor existing. Again, you can see this is that shower area, the existing patio, and the existing primary structure. When the addition is added on, you get this small portion here, this little guy here, and then the proposed great room adds here. For the second floor, they are not modifying that, so the second floor is existing and doesn't change, but you'll see the roof plan here. And that is a portion of the framing plan in the top corner, but I removed that from the screen. So the front elevation, I have put all the elevations on the same slide so that we don't have to flip back and forth between 1,000 different things. So the top one is always existing. The bottom one is going to be what is proposed. So for your front elevation here, which is, again, the side that is facing Lawrence Street, but it is not what reads as the front of this structure because it is not the one that was originally built before our Unified Development Ordinance was in place. So this is the front elevation.
So Lawrence Street is the address?
Yes, but it is a very
Weird.
peculiar shaped
Yeah,
lot. It's a
not
T-shaped
really-
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easement address, it looks like. The easement is such a, yeah,
Yeah, it's not an easement.
I know.
It is a portion of the property.
It is a
but
portion,
it's
so that's not an easement, that's actually, oh,
correct,
wow.
but it's the access point.
What a nice little cutout.
So the only thing that's being changed on this elevation is that this door here is becoming a window. And then on the east elevation, which this is the side that fronts the cove, reads as the front, but is actually the left, for those of you following along. The majority of that addition is going into this space right here between the two structures. So that was the porch overhang. It's becoming this hyphen area with the windows. And then they're taking out the single window on this elevation and putting in two windows so that it is more consistent with the window patterns on the rest of the structure. The rear elevation, again, this is where you can see that hyphen beyond. This is where that shower area was. So it's the roof line is coming out of where that is coming out from about a third of the way down, maybe half the way down, and extending on over this to create that small bathroom. And then the west elevation, which is the side that is facing the right, it's the right side of the lot, but it's the rear of the structure. This is the view that you'll have there. So again, nothing is changing on the primary structure except the addition that ties the two structures together here. And then you will no longer have the fenced-in outdoor shower. You'll have an indoor shower instead, with the two windows here on the side. So primarily, while this is very much in addition to the primary structure, it is really in addition to the accessory structure, but the accessory structure will no longer be an accessory structure. It will be part of the primary structure, is how that all comes together there. I've added the wall sections for you here. And then the other details, so we've got your window trim corner and your chimney cap are the ones that we typically look at here, along with the doors and the room schedule, which that is less important for the exterior review here. And then I have the actions which you can take. So the HPC shall consider the 8 criteria found in section 318.3 of our Unified Development Ordinance and consider that when they review the certificate of appropriateness application. They can approve the application as submitted, approve the application with conditions, or deny the application as submitted by the applicant. We have Ansley here on behalf of the Browns as well as the Browns, and then we have the staff recommendation, which includes the 3 following comments. If you don't mind, Mr. Chairman, I will run through all 3 since there are only 3, and then open up the floor to.
I think that's a good idea. These are fairly easy to run through. Is that all right with you guys? Yes. Okay.
So the first one is that tree. It's a 20-inch live oak that is proposed for removal right there next to the house. It is very close to the structure, so any work that would be done in that area would affect the root system, but it will need to have a Town of Bluffton tree removal permit for the removal of that. They do still meet the canopy coverage with the removal of that tree because of all of the area that is within the cove area, so we have checked the canopy calculations on that minus the existing tree that is proposed for removal. The second one is that the plywood material in this office will need to be replaced with a hardy material or a true wood material, a durable wood material. It is just shown in the one wall section here, so it's the plywood soffit there that would need to be replaced. And then the last one is that because this is an addition to an existing structure, a determination on the finished floor height will need to be made since this is a carriage house and primary structure that were built at grade when it was constructed in the early 2000s. Yes, early 2000s, I think it was 2002-ish. 2000, okay. I was off on it by 1 year or 2 years there. However, the existing finished floor is less than 3 feet above average adjacent sidewalk grade, but it does match the proposed addition.
So as a motion, we need to just address that and say that because, and we have done it, existing structure matching floor heights, something needs to be stated so that determination, we have to determine whoever's motioning.
Yes, and I'll just turn that one red for you all so that it is
Something that has
something
to be,
that cannot just be per staff recommendation if you choose to follow through with these. Anything else that you feel is additional requirements as well. So
that I think we talked about in HPRC is the height of the chimney. I guess I'm looking at it, I thought chimney per code has to be above living quarters.
yes.
10 feet over, 2 feet up. From
Yes,
the
so-
main roof line, you go, say the roof's like this, you go 10 feet over, it has to be 2 feet higher than that.
Okay, great.
So it doesn't have to be
So
higher than.
we're in, great, thank you. I didn't know the code, but I just,
And you're really just retrofitting the existing chimney, kind of, or y'all will be rebuilding?
Is, so it, we're
completely replaced them.
Gotcha.
plus it's a back-to-back, it's open.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow,
so
right,
there,
from one side,
even if we tried to work with it, it was
oh,
hard
so
to
you're going to see it
retrofit
from both sides?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
You currently see it.
You currently, yeah.
Yes. Currently, critters could crawl into the bedroom. Proposed, they will no longer.
You know, I just got to say is, number one, what a cool lot. I mean, it's just really an interesting lot. And it seems like it's a voicing an opinion here, and I just think it's a pretty nice reuse of everything. Any discussions?
Not really. I would just say it's super helpful to have the elevations back to back. I mean, it
Yeah.
makes it completely makes sense to me to want to enclose and make that, you know, accessory building part of the main building for another, have a master bedroom on the first floor with the office. It really reads still with the primary structure, and then it's clear that that's a
We're going to have to trespass in order to see this. It's been a long process. We'll have a housewarming party going. This is interesting because sometimes I try to go look at places and it's like, if I want to,
trespass.
I'll take some pictures for you when I have to go out there and do my inspection, so I'll, yes.
Ainsley, could you please speak into the microphone?
speak into
You
me.
can drag it closer to you. It moves. There you go.
I just want to make sure, because the workshop was built at a separate time, and maybe Mitch and Lori already know the answer to this, is the soffit hardy, or is it, I know the main house was the plywood soffit.
I believe
So where I'm going with this is because we're converting an existing building that already has a plywood soffit, that little rear section of addition, I would be changing the soffit material to hardy in just that one
we
section.
look at that elevation
And
again. So in other
There
words,
may be a picture of it, but I just
You're-
think that's,
you're not redoing the outside
Pointless.
of the entire building. You're just adding to this area.
right, so
It would be here,
the section of new soffit
here,
won't match the
Here.
existing soffit.
and here.
And because it's such a little amount, I think it's more important to match it.
Interesting, yeah, comment. Does somebody have a feel on that? You know, a lot of times when we're doing matching existing, that's the precedent set. So in other words, somebody can't come in and just say, hey, I want to do this. I'm Mr. Precedent Set, you know, when we're trying to make sure that we're having something that makes sense so that if somebody else comes behind us, if you come behind us in 2 years from now saying, in other words, you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
So this is kind of an interesting comment.
I kind of missed it. Can you point out again where the existing, where the soft, on this roof
So-
line? Yeah.
From about here to here, this whole stretch, this stretch here, and then on the front, this stretch here is what will be the new. And there may be a little bit here
gotcha.
where they tie it
So
in
the existing was just everything to the
Everything
bottom.
to the
so
left
this
and to the
here is
right.
existing,
Okay.
And then the
To the
and
right.
left and to the
then
right,
this is
correct?
existing.
Everything to the left and to the right is plywood.
Yes.
Even on the main building right now.
I almost think the transition might actually look a little awkward. And again, it's already a non-compliant material on the existing. So such a
Oh,
little
well, you're gonna have to
section of.
change it.
The whole house.
Please don't.
Boy, I'm glad you brought that up.
That would be a task.
I'm just-
Ansley, do you happen to know if it's T111? What is it? Do you know?
I think it's just, what did I put in the, there may be a picture. Yeah, it's,
we're not in danger, this is another question for you, Katie. We're
good
not in danger
picture.
of, like, this obviously isn't more than 50% of,
No.
That's a good point, too.
On the the rear main building, okay.
Are you going to do the exposed rafter tail?
There are no exposed rafter tails.
You're just going to match exactly the existing
Right, so you
build.
can see it.
Oh, okay.
There's a good one.
So you just, yeah. I know where to go if I need to make a phone call.
it's in the shower. I mean,
I personally, I'm okay with it. Again, I think your argument is valid. I'm looking for the rest of the,
For to Katie, I mean, is there anything that prohibits us from allowing this in any of the building codes or historical commission?
It does not, so the Unified Development Ordinance calls out that rough sawn wood or plywood material in the soffit is not permitted. That being said, with the HPC's authority, you can allow a deviation from that when it is warranted to allow for alternative materials when they are appropriate. So with the precedent that this is an existing structure, and the material is to match that of the existing structure rather than, and it's less than,
50%, like you said.
well,
You know, if it was.
that was a different topic,
was
but
a
yes,
different
it
but
is less
again,
than
I'm just-
50%.
But that was a good point, at least it's a.
I could see that there would be
It's a small
an argument
percentage
for
of
it.
the total existing. If,
yeah, I mean, I was just asking, there's a certain point where, correct me if I'm wrong, with the, if you have a non-conforming building, if you are making additions or changes that are more than 50% of the value, then you would need to bring the building to code or something, like, well,
It's
that's
for
not,
building code, yes,
or not,
for,
not building to code, to
for ours,
conforming.
what you touch must be conforming, yes,
Yeah.
and this is acceptable.
I mean, I think with, the main structure being the plywood material and a little less than 50%, like 40% or so of that, the shed that is plywood right now, I mean, I think that, I mean, to me, it would look a little weird to be something different in those.
so if that's,
And at this point, it would be, I mean, I wouldn't say I would keep it. It's already been, the plywood, the rest of the building has already been constructed. I think it would be not an environmental choice to remove it all and replace it.
with that, if whoever desires to make a motion, if the motion includes verbiage to allow the change, but why? So that there's consistency.
I would like to make a motion that HPC approve the application with the following recommendations. One, that they, per section 5.3.3A, receive a tree removal permit for the removal of the 20-inch live oak. And two, the HPC determines that the plywood material in the soffit is an appropriate substitute for those listed in section 5.15.6.p.10, as the existing structure uses this material, the main building and both the shed that's being saved, and it's keeping with the rest of the character of the existing structure. And 3, HPC determines that it is appropriate for the finished floor to match the existing height the height of the existing building. And so it being set 3 feet above the adjacent grade is not appropriate in this condition.
Any discussions? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Looks like you're
Thank
going to
you.
build.
Thank you guys so much.
So are you going to be living in this as you're building it?
Be on the second floor,
Upstairs?
right? Yeah.
They're already up there
Oh,
with their 2 teenage daughters.
oh, yeah, that makes life interesting, yeah. What's their age? Oh, that's easy.
We don't have any further
Open
discussion,
loft,
right?
master bedroom.
Man,
Not open loft, but there's no door.
I wish I might
Please have
do the
mercy
same
on
thing.
them.
but find
Mr.
a
Chairman.
Separate
To
structure.
reiterate, that is probably one of
Better
the
put a
most
door
unique.
in that connector with just a, lock with only 2 keys, right?
Mr. Chairman, we don't have any further discussion for tonight's meeting.
No, I guess we do not, so I guess I'm going to be asking for a motion for adjournment, so we close this meeting. Motion,
I motion we adjourn the meeting.
second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any discussion? Passed. Meeting adjourned.
6